with head men's basketball coach Eric Konkol. The Golden Hurricane are 10-1 for the fifth time in program history. They've also won 7 in a row heading into this weekend against Western Kentucky, tied for the 10th longest winning streak in the country. Coach.
Thank you, Tom. It was a good week for us on the road. Of course, winning the final game of a 3-game homestand against Pine Bluff, and then traveling down to Frisco, where we have members of our team with a lot of family. Really a good event put on by the Texas Legends in their G League. It was first class all the way around, and opportunity for us to play a good team on a neutral site. And I thought our guys came out with really good focus, played really hard, got off to a good lead, and knowing that New Mexico State wouldn't go away, we've got so much respect for Coach Hooten and his program. We were able to make enough plays in the second half and withstand a rush from them. And so that was good to have that adversity and be able to come through it. So we're in the midst of final exams. We've got a big week ahead of us academically, and finish off the semester strong and then get ready for another road game at Western Kentucky.
I was going to ask you about finals week. How do you kind of handle this week with practice and finals? How do you kind of handle this week?
So here it started really last week. We have 2 reading days. Final started on Thursday. We knew about our travel to Frisco ahead of time, where we were able to have our guys shuffle some things around for their responsibilities on Friday. But once we got back late Saturday night, it just made the point we needed to utilize yesterday, Sunday, for not only treatment and recovery, but academics. We'll have a practice today. We'll watch film and recap the New Mexico State game. We'll get on the floor just to get our wind and make sure that we're not falling back that way. But tomorrow's a big day for us. But then we'll be prep on Wednesday and Thursday, getting ready for Western Kentucky. And but guys, of our academic support, and like Karen does a great job with our schedule, the preparation, all those types of things to help our guys just stay organized. So it's a big part of this, though, still. College basketball still requires class, especially here at the University of Tulsa.
Coach, even though it was a neutral site game, going on the road and winning is important, not only for morale and circling the wagon and all of that, but also, for the metrics that you have to follow.
Absolutely. It's, again, we've talked in this venue many times about scheduling, and as we all know, scheduling is not just determined by what you want to do, it's what the market dictates and what you can schedule. But we were very intentional this year about the breakdown in our schedule. And when you take the 2 non-Division I games away, in the end, those 11 countable games for the net metrics and KenPom and everything else will have 4 neutral site games, 3 true road games, and 4 home games. And so some of this was what New Mexico State was looking for, what we were looking for. During final exams, we knew we wanted to drive. It was an easy drive down to Frisco. They had fans, and they have people in Texas. They're going to compete towards the top of Conference USA. But from a metrical standpoint, man, playing those games on a neutral site really give you an added bump, and so that was big for us.
And of course, you have a situation with all of the different players that can step forward in a particular game. Jalen Lawal has 20 and then ends up with 2 or 4 or whatever it was the other day. David Green has a good game and then maybe 5 or 6 the next game, even though he had a good number of rebounds. And then Tylen, has something around 10 and then 29. How do those guys handle the down in that, the down moments when they're maybe not scoring as much as they would like to, comparing that to, say, a 29-point game? How do they handle that situation? Have they handled it well?
Well, I think we've got a group that's really committed to the team success, and they really put how they're feeling based on how the team is doing. And of course, it's a beautiful thing about basketball is everybody has a chance to score. It's not like football where the lineman can't run out there and try to catch a pass. And so everybody has their individual goals of how they'd like to score and how they're playing. But we talk all the time about, our best shot, what the defense is giving us. Every game is a little bit different. we've got to have not only a next up mentality, but a who's the hot hand type mentality. We absolutely want consistency across the board, but in that particular game, the way New Mexico State guards, we were going to need a guy like Tylen Riley to be able to make good decisions in the paint. And he got it going from three, going 4 for 5 from three, and all the other things, getting fouled, making 13 out of 13 free throws. Just happened to be his game. And I think we got a group of guys that are not only competitive, but they're cheering for each other's success as well.
And Tylen has a habit of getting people to foul him. Is that something that you knew that he could do? Is that something you saw, kind of clever, sneaky, whatever, even from the point where he joined the team?
Absolutely. It was a major thing. I mean, when we set out to put this roster together, we felt good about some of the shooting that we were bringing in, and some of those guys don't get fouled as much. They're jump shooters. They take good shots. They know when they're open, and they knock it down. But I would say both Tylen Riley and Miles Rigsby, in the different things that we use as metrics internally, those guys draw a lot of fouls, and that is a really big thing. If you look at points per possession, right now we're shooting close to 80% from the free throw line as a team. You get fouled shooting two, that's about a 1.6. Just getting fouled shooting two. You shoot 40% from three, that's only 1.2. And so getting fouled is a big part of scoring, and Tylen's really good at it.
Defensively Saturday, was that first half about as good 20 minutes as you've played defensively against a pretty good team? And then, of course, the second half was a little bit different. But the first 20 minutes, about as good as you've seen?
I thought on both sides, the first half was really good for us. I mean, was very pleased. And, of course, the shots are going in, and then you get to set your defense. And we jam the inbounder a good bit, especially when certain lineups are in the game. But I thought our activity level, not only did we play hard, but we were connected in doing what we were intending to do. In the second half, we loosened up a little bit. Credit some to New Mexico State for some of the changes that they made. But I did think that we showed some really good signs. And we got to become more consistent to really get to where we want to get to.
And then Western Kentucky, what concerns you about the Hilltoppers?
We're diving into a number of their things. They're a team that has played a good schedule. They've played people really tough. They're 1-1 against teams in our league. They played Vanderbilt really tough on a neutral site. And going to Western Kentucky is a great challenge. It's a hard place to play. Historically, not many people have come out of there. So this will be a great test for us. But when we speak about getting fouled, that's their thing. Like, they get to the basket, they get to the paint, they get to the free throw line, and we got to do everything we can to prevent that.
Going back to the neutral site games, as Bruce mentioned, not only do they kind of help you with all the metrics, but how do these games, especially when you get wins, how do they help prepare you for March?
Well, I think that throughout, if you look at not just March, but even leading up to March, you go into conference play. If you look at all of college basketball, there's a number of teams that have maybe played one true road game to this point in non-league play. It's all home games or neutral site games. To challenge at the top of your league, half of your games are on the road. You've got to be able to do that. You've got to be able to know how to leave your town, leave your building, and play really well. And then, of course, the neutral site games are important because it's truly neutral. That's what the conference tournament is like. The way the fan support is just a little bit different. It's neutral, and being able to have those moments are things that we can point back to. And thankfully for us, I mean, we've done it on each coast. We've done it back to back. We were able to do it this weekend in Dallas. So our guys have built some great experience together.
As you look at this start that you guys are on right now, has there been one thing or maybe multiple things that's kind of led to this great start that you were looking for?
I think a number of things. First of all, I think you got to give great credit to the players. I mean, they're the ones out there doing it. Want to give credit to our coaching staff for not just identifying them, but we're playing differently than what we've played based on our personnel and the things that they do well. But I think from just in between the lines, right now the way that we're playing with depth, The number of lineups, we've been versatile. Of course, we're scoring the ball at a pretty high rate, and we're getting better defensively, and that's where we got to keep improving. But we've got a really good group of guys that love the game. They love the competition, and very quickly they've gotten to know each other really, really well and seem to really enjoy being around each other. So, of course, our focus is just on today and find a way to get better and keep improving.
You mentioned rotations and that kind of thing. That kind of led into my next question. You look in college sports today, it doesn't matter the sport with the portal and everything. Every year you basically have a new lineup, and one of the things coaches worry about is cohesion and chemistry. Do you like where your team's chemistry is so far, 11 games in?
I really do, and it is the hardest thing. I mean, you put a roster together in such quick fashion with so many guys, and you try to do so much work on background, but at the same time, we're not trading, we're not drafting. There is a recruitment aspect to this, and you're trying to evaluate, but we were very intentional about finding guys that were very verbal, guys that communicated, guys that just had a way about them that you felt, okay, they're very conversational. This is not hard for them. Not everybody's like that, but you got to have enough guys like that that can stir the pot a little bit, if you will. And it's an enjoyable group to be around. Winning is enjoyable, no doubt, but just from the summertime and being around the guys, you could feel that there was a great energy.
Is this one of the deepest rosters you've had concerning guys you can plug in and play?
I would say it's definitely the deepest we've had here at TU. I can think about some teams I've been a part of in the past where historically played 9 or 10 guys. It's kind of, very honestly, one of the ways we've inserted our freshmen over the years. We've had so many, from freshman of the year to all freshman team members, of just being able to use those young players for great depth. And then you have great contributions like we do now from Jalen Lawal and KJ Martin and even Leon Sifferlin when he's come in. But without a question, in our time here at TU, this is the deepest team we've had, and it's, I think, a great advantage for us.
Was that a point of emphasis this past offseason, or was that something that, kind of just happened?
I think depth is always something you search for. You want to have great practices. Of course, today's college landscape, you put your roster together a little bit differently, or a lot differently than before. But I think that's where you find balance and try to find talent at different areas. And we wanted to build a team that could be a little bit positionless, especially outside of our 5-man, so that we could withstand some injuries differently than last year where we were decimated with injuries at different spots. So without a doubt, we wanted to provide our roster depth, versatility, and have great practices all year long.
Last question for me. Scoring is up across the country. Scoring is up here with your squad as well. Why do you think that is? Do you see more increased pace of games? Why do you think scoring is up?
It is way up. There's without a doubt. And I've not looked at the numbers where they are right now, but I know we've said here that the team that was 100th in offense last year would have been 26th in the country 4 years prior. And it's just way up. I think there's a number of factors. One, you've got a number of older players staying in college now, very good players staying in college. And when they could be going out and playing professionally, there's no more than a handful of those guys. So you've got them in college. I think pace is way up. I think three-point shooting, although not the percentages of makes are not up, the number that are being taken are up. The analytics that many have talked about for a while, I think, are being executed across a number of different levels. I also think the game is being officiated a little bit differently. For example, well, I know it is. Charges are less prominent. You can't take them the way. They changed the rule of when the back foot is put down, it's going to be a block. The continuation rule this year, more people are getting to the free throw line. And frankly, I just think players are getting more and more skilled at a number of positions. So many factors that go into this. But I'm just happy that we're scoring better.
You guys lead the conference in just about every offensive category: points per game, point differential, field goal percentage, 3-point percentage, free throw percentage, and assists. The other night you assisted, I think it was 75% of the made field goals had an assist. And it always seems like the guys are making the extra pass. Talk about the unselfish play of this offense so far this season. You know, you're averaging 90 a game, but nobody's averaging more than 15 a night so far.
It's something we've talked about from the very beginning. I mean, the things that we emphasized immediately in the summer on the offensive side of the ball were what is a great shot? And not just for the University of Tulsa, but just in the NBA and college, we teach them about points per possession and what's not a shot that, man, I think I can make that too. I make this all the time, and this is great for us. And then it's recognizing what guys on our team do really well. They know who the green light shooters are, the neon green light shooters. We also have talked very often about, as a staff, finding guys that just have that inherent next pass mentality. You can see it on film, and we recruited towards that. But we emphasize it all the time. We talk about the most efficient plays in basketball are catch and shoot shots from three in certain areas, and the guys have really found some success with it. And when you find some success with something, it's hard to go away from that. And that's our job as a coaching staff, to just keep holding guys accountable to that standard and keep ratcheting it up a little bit.
One last one. Just before, 2 more games before conference play, what would you say is the message to the fans about, why should they come out and watch the Golden Hurricane the rest of the season?
Well, first, we have 2 games left in non-conference, and this is that segment of the season, and then conference play comes. But, I'm so appreciative of the fans that when we are away from home, like we will be on Friday, they're watching, and the people that I've gotten to know well here, and the feedback that you get and how much they enjoy watching the team. But when it comes to home games, we want to keep growing this thing. And, make point of when we come back and play Denver at 2 o'clock, there's a $5 ticket offer for a matinee game at 2 o'clock, and Santa will be here in attendance for photos. So if any of you guys need your picture taken, go ahead and get it with Santa. And then there's also many plans for season tickets. Memphis, Wichita State, our Legends game against UTSA, 3 games for $35. But take all that stuff aside. I've been afforded, and it's one of the things that I think often about, is been afforded the experience of when the Reynolds Center is jammed. And when I was a GA here, we've had some games here since I've been back as head coach. We've had moments. Our charge as a program is to be consistent and keep putting a product out there that people can be proud of. But hey, it's getting cold outside. Why not get into the Reynolds Center? It's going to be 70 degrees, and we're hoping to heat it up a whole lot more with the way we play. But for us to really do this thing, to really do it, we need the city behind us. And we would love for you to be here at the Reynolds Center to watch us play, help cheer our guys on, because it's only going to get more and more challenging, and we need you. So that's my charge. We would love to have our city behind us, and reach out to me personally if you need to, and we'll figure out a way for you to get your tickets.
Anything else for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, everybody.